I am. What a day. What a wonderful day it is. Finally, she's got her comeuppance. Over 50% of the public said no, she has to go. She's going to be sniping at Starmer and the government, even though it's not actually their fault for once that something's gone wrong, it's her fault. She hasn't actually achieved anything. This is what I say about people like Corbyn. They get lauded as gods of the left. Been in Parliament 30 odd years, and I say, well, give me one thing that he's done. Anything.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to this special episode, this breaking news special episode of Nick Talks with my friend, that Preston journalist. How you doing, Ash? You must be smiling right now.
I am. What a day. What a wonderful day it is. Finally, she's got her comeuppance. This woman who condemns everybody, wants to be able to get away with anything she likes, and I believe she actually played on that as well. She genuinely believed that she was untouchable. And now she's gone one step too far, I'm afraid. Polling came out yesterday and it showed, and this is what convinced me that she'd be gone very, very soon. Just 15% of people polled said she should stay in a job. Over 50% of the public said no, she has to go. And the rest didn't know. But she was finished yesterday. And as soon as that solicitor said that they didn't give her any of this advice, in fact, they actually said they did what me and you told her to yesterday when we talked on our video and said they went on the online tracker and decided to look it up, the online calculator, sorry, and look up how much council tax she'd have to pay with the information she provided. And it came up with 30 grand. So that tells me also that she didn't give them the full picture when they were looking it up because that calculator works. I've used it.
No, absolutely. Everybody uses it. It's the way that you make sure you're not breaking tax law. You use their calculator. That's 100% sure way of making sure you're not prosecuted. Now, you've done yourself a little bit of an injustice because you've not mentioned it. You predicted this. When we spoke yesterday, you said she'd be gone by this afternoon. And I think it was dead on midday. It was dead on 12 o'clock that it came out. You were spot on almost to the minute. Well done, Ash.
Yeah, to be honest with you, it was inevitable. There was far too many people coming out of the woodwork saying things about her. The stories have been getting drip fed to the papers for at least a week. Just different things every single day about it. Some of it didn't even relate to this. Some of it was just slagging her off. That's why I said it was coming from number 10. They wanted her knocked down a peg or two. Starmer wanted her kept in post. But I'm afraid once all these stories were being drip fed about her, they whoever it was out to completely destroy the woman, whereas Starmer just wanted her knocked down a peg or two. That's the way I see it. But now he's been forced to accept a resignation, which looks terrible on Starmer now because he was too weak to sack her. And now what do you see on social media? Countless videos of not just Rayner telling people to resign for anything at all, but you've also got videos of Starmer now online saying, accusing Boris Johnson or Rishi Sunak of being weak and not sacking people straight away without any due process whatsoever. It's a complete fiasco, the whole thing. This honestly, I'd be surprised if they see, I don't know, if they see end the next year still in power. I'll be amazed. Honestly, we're heading for that early general election I talked about.
Well, I didn't pay much attention to your prediction of a general election in May next year. But I'll tell you what, Ash, I'm beginning to listen to you with a little bit more knowledge now. I'm going, this man knows things. So there could be a general election in May. Two things I want to say. The first thing is she should have played this differently. Once once she knew she'd been caught, let's say it was a mistake or not a mistake, that's irrelevant. The second she knew that she'd paid too little tax, she knew her position was untenable. She should have then went to the Prime Minister and went, I've messed up, not really my fault, but I've messed up. It's my responsibility. I'm going to resign as Deputy Prime Minister because of all the things I've said. Announce it to the press. I think she'd have got some brownie points for that in the public eye. I think many people would have gone, Angela Rayner messed up. And we all can mess up, Ash. We all do it all the time. But she's messed up, owned it, and resigned, just like she told everybody else to. She could have come out of this a winner a couple of days ago, but she didn't. She hung on like a greedy socialist.
Yeah, well, yeah, 2 points there. So first of all, your ideal resignation point, as you just correctly said, is straight away. then you look like you've got a bit of integrity coming out of it. And give it a year or so, you'll probably be back in government in some sort of post anyway. So yeah, definitely. Also, though, the reason I believe this was, I can't prove this, it's just my opinion. The reason I think it was deliberate is because she only decided to do anything about it when they knew that the story was about to break. Because, of course, the first thing the papers will do before they put the story out, they'll go to Raina's team and say, "This is running tomorrow, we want a comment off you." And that's why she's had to quickly react and say, "God, I've done something wrong here. I've been caught out for it." Otherwise, she could have actually done it first. And if she'd have come out and said, like you just said, "I've made a mistake, but I've referred myself straight away, and I'm now going to also repay this money," she might not even have had to resign. She might have actually been able to stay in her job. But now it's the worst of all worlds for Labour. They've got this dangerous woman on the back benches, and she's going to be sniping for some of her colleagues. Make no mistake about it, because she's looking for a seat to stand in now. She's going to be sniping at Starmer and the government, even though it's not actually their fault for once that something's gone wrong. It's her fault. But she's going to be sniping at them now. She's kept a lot of her hard left opinions. She's a Corbynite after all. She's kept a lot of those opinions quiet. She actually behaved herself relatively well whilst in cabinet. You know, she wasn't there gobbing off too much, and she told the line. Now she doesn't have to do any of that. Now she's going to be with the hard left of the party, constantly having a go at this government. And that's something else that's going to happen now. When you see this leadership contest, don't forget she stepped down as deputy leader as well. So now you've got a leadership contest. So you're going to have now the hard left who basically control the party now because they led the rebellion against Starmer over the welfare cuts. They're going to be wanting one of their own people to be deputy leader of the party. Starmer's going to want one of his own people to be leader of the deputy leader of the party. But who's going to win out? Probably, if I had to lay money on it, some hard left activist will turn out to be the next deputy leader of the party, and that is going to be the worst of all worlds for Starmer.
Yeah, absolutely. It was the executive of the Labour Party that elected her. So, will it go to a members' vote, the deputy? Yeah. So all depends on the members how far left they are, or if they left now. Yeah, yeah. But how many have left now to join the Greens, to join your party? But I would imagine there's still a lot there who are lunatics. So we don't know how that's going to pan out.
Look at all the trades unionists. There's gonna be thousands of them that are gonna vote in this, and they're gonna want some hard left trade unionist, not someone that supports Starmer.
Mm. Yeah, no, I agree. No matter who's voted, it's going to be bad for Starmer. Absolutely, he's not going to get his own way on this at all. Do you ever think I've noticed today since she's resigned? It started before she resigned, but definitely since 12 o'clock today. So many people coming online, her supporters, other MPs, some celebrities, and their line is basically this: poor Angela Rayner. She's been hounded out of office. This is misogyny. This is classism. She's done nothing wrong. It's not her fault she got bad advice. Look at Nigel Farage. He's committing more fraud than her, and the press don't even talk about it. She's the best politician of our generation. She's done so much. And it's like, I'm reading these things going, are these people mental? Are they absolutely mental?
Um, Fine. I see. What was it an achievement to get to where she got to? Yeah, all right. But what has she achieved? Tell me anything.
Nothing.
Nothing. She's done the square root of F all. Nothing at all. She hasn't actually achieved anything. This is what I say about people like Corbyn. They get lauded as gods of the left. Been in Parliament 30 odd years. And I say, well, give me one thing that he's done. Anything. Anything productive. And the same is for Rayner. She's done absolutely sod all. And if you listen to people that work with her, she's not very good at the job either. She's a poster girl for what Labour believe the working class are. People who talk like they've had their brains removed and can't string together a coherent sentence. That's how they see people like you and me. That's how they see working class people. She's the token working class girl from a council estate. That's it. As far as her achievements go, you could write them on the back of a postage stamp. She's done absolutely nothing while in Parliament.
I agree. And you can say that about all the ministers, all the MPs on the Labour side. And to be fair, you can say it about the other side of the House as well, with all the Tories. They achieved nothing either. Um, what's next for Angela Rayner? She's back to the backbenches. She might be a thorn in the side to Starmer. She's not, as we said, she's not going to resign a seat. That's crazy talk. Um, will she win her? Will she win her seat? I mean, it looked like she was going to lose a seat anyway at the next general election, but she would have lost even more support in Tameside now if she stands in Tameside. Is there anywhere else that will want her? Because she's damaged goods now. She's that she's that former deputy prime minister who was cheating the tax man while telling people to pay more tax. Surely her political career is over at the next general election.
Yeah, made even harder by the fact that Labour are going to get absolutely walloped and lose most of their MPs anyway. So yeah, there's no such thing as a safe Labour seat now. I've seen some polling today on Rayner's seat, and she's 14 points behind Reform UK and Ashton on the line. So she's going to lose that seat, which is why, as we've talked about, she was doing the chicken run to go to Brighton, and then thinking she could stand there. The problem is, of course, that Hove is already a seat held by Labour by Peter Kyle, the guy who's snooping on us all with his Online Safety Act. So Rayner would have to dislodge him to get that seat to stand down there.
That would have been easier to dislodge him if she was still deputy prime minister, but she has no power now.
No, she has no power. She's discredited. You know, a home in Brighton. Well, I don't condone this, but a home in Brighton's been tagged with graffiti.
That's appalling. Yeah.
It is, but it shows the strength of feeling against her as well. It's quite a sign of the times at the moment that we're living in quite radical times, aren't we? So people aren't going to forgive this. I don't think they're going to forget this. I think it probably is game over for Rayner in Parliament now, at least for 10 years, maybe longer. She might come back one day like Galloway did, for a term or whatever. But I I can't see her finding anywhere to stand unless this is a possibility. She Corbyn's already reached out, like offered an olive branch. Could she go to this joke of a party that doesn't even have a name yet? There's a possibility she could do that. We know she hates Starmer. Would she be quite glad to maybe stand against Starmer in his seat and try and take a London seat? Because Corbyn's lot have got no chance outside the M25. But in some of these numbskulls that live inside London, who vote for people like Khan and David Lammy and Dawn Butler and Diane Abbott, she's probably got a chance of standing in one of those seats and actually winning a seat inside London. But not with Labour. It'll be with Corbyn's lot.
Right, that's her done and dusted. We'll see what she does in the future. Let's look at the wider picture now. Does her resignation damage this Labour government more than it was already damaged? Is this a case of the first domino, the first important domino has fallen and more dominoes are going to fall? Will the press smell blood now? Will they be trying to see who can fall next? Because this is what happens with weak parties. Someone goes, someone makes a mistake, and then it's a feeding frenzy on everybody else. Is this the real beginning of the end of this Labour government?
She's the first big building block to fall, if you will, isn't she? She's the first one to go that's big. It's forced Starmer now into an early reshuffle, which is taking place as we speak. He's already sacked Lucy Powell and Ian Murray.
Has he?
Yeah, so, I mean, Lucy Powell called the grooming gangs issue dog whistle politics, didn't she? So he was just waiting for the right moment to get rid of her. And Ian Murray, he's not really much of an MP anyway, but he was a Scottish secretary. He's been sacked as well. Um, I think actually this could have been turned into quite a plus for Starmer, but he's too brainless to see it. The first thing they did before they started doing the reshuffle was said that Rachel Reeves is safe. That was to calm the markets to make sure that things didn't get even worse than what they are. What he could have done, in my opinion, if he wants Reeves out, which he clearly does because he's taking all the staff away from her, and another one today, by the way, has just resigned, the investment minister, Poppy somebody or other, she's resigned today of her own volition. So he could have actually made Reeves deputy prime minister and then maybe I mean, she wouldn't have won a contest to be deputy leader of the Labour Party, but he could have made her deputy prime minister or something like that, or even leader of the House of Commons, give her some sort of job so she looks like she's still vaguely important, and then put somebody else in as chancellor. And it wouldn't have looked that bad because there's a vacancy there now. And he just said he could have spun it somewhere, but now they've left Reeves there isolated. You've got this leadership contest that Rayner has now brought on, And it does damage Starmer, not because he's going to miss Rhaena being around the table or anything, but because she's so dangerous to him. Yes, she's too weak now to have a run at him for taking his job, definitely. But she is going to attack him massively from the back benches. If anybody thinks for a second that someone like her is going to walk away from this quietly, be a good little girl, sit on the back benches and keep your trap shut, they've got another thing coming. She's only got a very short time left in Parliament now, a couple of years at most, and she's gonna take every opportunity she can to stick the knife into this already failing government that's going to get wiped out sooner or later.
So I'm like you. I don't. He may have thought about moving Rachel Reeves today. I would have thought he'd have said to himself, not a chance. That's a step too far for such a weak prime minister and a weak man. She's safe. They're joined at the hip. One of them goes down, they both go down. But what about people like Jess Phillips? Jess Phillips is a bit like Angela Rayner, spent all her political career bad mouthing everybody else, talking about what she would do when she's in power and she's got her hands on those levers of power, got there and has basically not only she's done nothing, she's done worse than nothing. It looks like she's covered stuff up. She announced yesterday she knew police officers were raping children. First time we've heard of ever say that. Um, I, if anyone goes next, I hope it's her. I hope someone topples her.
You know, before we came on, I was thinking, who would you actually keep? I honestly don't know who you'd keep. I would have said John Healey a while ago, Defence Secretary. He's not actually done that bad a job compared to other people. But then when it came to this Afghani stuff and all that, he was there hiding that injunction from us all. So now he's tainted in my eyes. Lucy Powell's definitely tainted. Like you said, Jess Phillips, Angela Rayner, Yvette Cooper, Wes Streeting, David Lammy. I can go through the whole cabinet. They're shit. There's no other way of putting it. And this is supposed to be the top team. The very first people you bring to government alongside you are supposed to be the very best you've got. So anything that comes after it stands to reason is either going to be less experienced or they're going to be even more radical or worse, or they won't toe the line. When you keep scrambling around for people to take these jobs, I don't see any talent on those Labour benches. And what does he do now? Who do you bring in? I can't name a single person on those Labour backbenches. Graham Stringer, he's a sensible guy, but he won't get anywhere near a cabinet position because rumour has it he's going to retire anyway after the next election, and also he speaks up against this government far too much. So they'll never bring him into a responsible position. Has to sit on the back benches. Honestly, I can't name you a single person who I would have in government now to replace any of these lot. But I agree with you. They need to go, especially people like Phillips, who pretend to care about things, and then all of a sudden her majority's down to a couple of hundred, and all of a sudden she's thinking, "Oh God, I best not speak about grooming gangs, etc., because I'm going to lose my seat." And she's going to lose it anyway.
Let's end on this because you've turned into a very wise man now, Ash. So I'm going to put this to you. Between now and Christmas, give me another prediction. Give me another prediction that's going to happen between now and Christmas.
Oh God, another prediction.
If
Um, I would like to say Reeves will be gone, but I don't think she will. I think they'll save her sacking for the local elections next year.
Reeves goes, he goes within a week.
Yeah, this is the problem now. He's already lost his deputy. Yeah, so he can't really lose anybody else. Um, I'll make a prediction that Labour will be by Christmas in the teens. They won't be polling in the 20% anymore. It's a bit of an easy prediction actually, because a couple of polls have already showed that. So I'm cheating a little bit, but I think they'll be consistently polling in the teens. And sooner or later, someone has to move against him eventually. But I don't know who now. Not now. Rayner's gone.
Yeah, well, at our Christmas special edition of Nick and Ash, I'll play that little segment of you saying they'll be consistently in the teens, and we'll see if the wise man is still wise at Christmas. Ash, thanks so much for jumping on here with very little notice, and thanks again for your 100% correct prediction yesterday that she'll be gone tomorrow afternoon, and she was sacked on that. She was resigned at midday on the second she resigned.
Got some breaking news before we go.
Oh, go on.
Yvette Cooper is tipped to be kicked out of the Home Office.
Does it say kicked out or does it say moved? Because
No,
she
it's a reshuffle. Leave is leaving the Home Office.
right leaving the Home Office. Do you think they may push her for Deputy Prime Minister?
Well, that's up to the membership. Can she win? Not in my opinion. It's going to be some radical that wins the Deputy Prime Ministership, but we'll have to see. But possibly they might try and do that.
Right, interesting. And you've heard that here first. Again, breaking news on this channel. Ash, thanks so much. Have a great weekend, and I'll speak to you soon.
Yeah, cheers, Nate. Thank you. Bye.